All right, so here we're back to applications. And so we have to remember we have to do our check of our answer and kind of go about it, make sure we use the right units. So here it says a pair of basketball shorts requires 3/4 of a yard of nylon. And then it says how many pairs of shorts can be made from 24 yards of nylon? Well, how are we going to do that? Well, if we have 24 yards total, if we think about that, and we have to take 3/4 for each pair, what are we doing? We're taking basically our 24 and we're dividing it by 3/4. Okay. That's really what we're doing. We're just taking it and dividing it by 3/4. Okay. And so how many 3/4 is in 24? Well, what we have to do is remember this is over 1. And so we're going to keep, change, flip. So that's going to be 24 over 1 times 4 over 3. Well, now we can reduce. 3 will go in here once, 3 will go in here 8 times. And so that looks like what we're going to get is we're going to get 8 times 4, which is 32 pairs of shorts. Okay, so that is what we get. Now, what would our check be? Well, if we take 32 pairs of shorts times 3/4 of a yard of nylon, that is going to give us what? Well, if we put that over 1, now we can change our color so we can see what we're canceling. 4 goes in here once, 4 goes in here 8 times, and so then we are back to 3 times 8, which is 24, and then we have yards. Okay, so that's how we do it. So that's our check, and that's our answer. All right, so the next one says a bucket had 12 liters of water in it when it was 3/4 full. So, we had a bucket of water and it's 3/4 full and there's 12 liters. How much could it hold altogether? Well, that means it's going to hold more. And so if we get a number that's smaller, then we've done something wrong. Kind of like this one, if how many shorts can be made from 24 yards? Well, this is less than a yard, so it's going to be more than 24 pairs of shorts that can be made. So when we're thinking about this, you have to think, does the answer make sense too, before you do the check? Well, 32 is greater than 24, so yeah, that makes sense. So what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to take, again, how much is in there, 12 liters, and divide that by 3/4. Now, again, that's over 1. And so we're going to do the keep, change, flip. And so that's 12 over 1 times 4 over 3. And now we can reduce. And so 3 goes in here once, 3 goes in here 4 times. And now we've got something that looks like 4 times 4, which is 16. And how much could it hold? So that's going to be liters because that was our units here. That's how much it can hold altogether. Does that make a number larger than 12? Yeah, it does. And so I'm assuming that's probably going to be the correct answer. But now we can do our check. And so basically our check is going to take 16 over 1 times 3 over 4. And we get what? Well, first off, we have to do some reducing. 4 goes in here once, 4 goes in here 4 times 3, and that's going to give us 12. And so that's going to give us 12 liters, and that's what we started with here. And so the check works. All right, let's go to the next one. So here it says Kerry sells tools after driving 180 kilometers. He completes 5/8 of a sales trip. How long is the total trip and how many kilometers are left to drive? Okay, well, what do we have here? Okay, if we have 180 kilometers total, he's driven, and that's only 5/8 of the trip, there's still 3/8 left, right? Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to take 180 and we're going to divide by 5/8. Okay, so we keep, we change, we flip. 180 over 1 times 8 over 5. All right, so now we have to do some division because 5 will go in here once, 5 will go into that. That'll be 3 and then a 6. It looks like 36 times. And so now we have 36 times 8, and so it's 48. That's 24 plus 4, so it's 28. And so what it looks like is this is going to be 288 kilometers is going to be how long the total trip is. So total trip, okay? Now it says how many kilometers are left to drive. Well, we have 288 total. We've driven 180. So if we take 288 minus 180, 8 minus 0 is 8, 8 minus 8 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have 108 kilometers left to drive. Okay, so that's kind of the answer to part B. But what we need to do now is we need to take 288 times 5 over 8. And so when we do that, that should hopefully give us back our 180 there. So 8 goes in here once, and let's see here. 8 goes into 288. Let's see, that'd be a 3. That's 24. 48. That's going to be 6. So we have 36 times now 5. That's 30. 15 plus 3 is 18. So that's 180 kilometers. And that's what it started with. So that check looks good. Okay. So we have the total trip, the left to drive, and then over here we have our check. So I didn't leave enough room to kind of put it all in a nice linear order, but that's okay. All right, so let's look at our next one here. It says a piece of rope 4/5 of a meter long is to be cut into 8 pieces of the same length. All right, what is the length of each piece? Well, that one's kind of probably an easier one because here we have a rope. It's 4/5 of a meter long. And we want to cut that into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't want to have that last one there. Aha. All right, so now I have the wrong number here probably too because I wrote the line too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So we're cutting that into 8 pieces. So we're taking 4/5 and we're dividing that by 8. Now remember, when we divide by 8, that's really 8 over 1. So we can have our fraction because we need a fraction. And so again, we're going to keep, change, flip. 4/5 times 1 over 8. Well, this one looks pretty easy. 4 will go in here once. 4 will go in here twice. So what does that give us? That gives us 1 over 10 and 1/10 of a meter for each piece. Okay, so that's how long each piece is going to be. So now what do we do to check it? Well, we take 1/10 and then we take that times 8 over 1. And so now again, we have to do the reducing. So 2 will go in here 4, 2 will go in here 5, and guess what? That's 4/5 of a meter, and that's what we started with originally. So that checks out. All right, so that's all I have for this section.